By the time we're done recording this, it'll be 0 here.
That's cold.
Balmy.
Are you drinking something with ice? With a straw?
It wasn't. That was hot tea when we
It's a
started.
margarita.
Are you you're drinking? It's 0 degrees and you're drinking a margarita.
Oh yeah, it is.
Party every day here, man.
Now you just got to run that space heater and everything be perfect.
That's one way to hole up in the apocalypse. You know, it gets really cold out
just
there.
margaritas and cocaine.
Okay. That's not what this kid does, but hey, welcome back. Today, we'll be reviewing 2015 Turbo Kid. In a post-apocalyptic wasteland in 1997, a comic book fan adopts the persona of his favorite hero to save his enthusiastic friend and fight a tyrannical overlord. As always, my name is Paul. We're a podcast about obscure, forgotten about, and often overlooked films. Next to me is Mike.
Hey.
Next to Mike is Jeremy.
Guten Tag.
And next to Jeremy is La-Mar.
Hey,
Colin could be here today. I was really hoping Colin could be here today because I hope to God Colin likes Turbo Kid. It was a recommendation I had for him. But yeah, it's cold everywhere, so we're in a somewhat apocalypse, just like Turbo Kid. Every day we're looking for food and toys. And we're looking to join the Turbo team. I think that's it.
Yeah, it's too cold. I don't have anything else to say about that.
we can definitely say that Turbo Kid was a lot warmer than us in this movie.
Yeah, honestly, where he's at looks more pleasant than what we're dealing with.
Yeah, all the characters are dressed in like jumpsuits, and I mean they're dirty.
Yeah.
It's a dirty wasteland that they're growing
I'll
up
be
in.
a little dirty.
But at least they're warm.
Yeah.
Well, I think this
They got
movie was
bikes.
filmed in like a rock quarry outside.
Oh yeah.
Clearly
oh
not
yeah.
trailers
Like
and
half the
The
filming,
entire movie, by the way.
Yeah, half the filming locations are rock quarry in Canada.
Right.
That seems pretty clear. Jeremy, how did you find this movie? Did we talk about it, or did you find this movie on your own?
I heard you guys mention this as a movie that you maybe wanted to review, and then like we were in I was on the road traveling, and we were in some kind of texting thing, and I had started watching it on my phone via Amazon Prime,
That was a proper
and
choice.
I like as I was watching it, I kept texting you guys back. I'm like, this movie is fucking bonkers. It is so good.
So what's crazy, I mentioned to Jeremy before, is one, I am a mega fan of this film. As noted, I own the soundtrack, I own a collector's comic, I own this movie in physical format, which I guess is kind of rare. I own this movie in digital format. I even reached out to the developer of the game company, which if they ever get back to us, I will note whatever they tell us. I asked them if they gave us a blurb because they're creating a video game on Turbo Kid. That'd be great if we could get any kind of word on that. I'd definitely share it. But I just love this movie. And it toured in areas of Canada back to back with Manborg. I guess like it was like a festival circuit, and these two movies played. And Jeremy has noted, I love Manborg, and Manborg is amazing. But Jeremy is not as enamored with Manborg as he should be. But we'll chip away at that exterior. One day he'll let Manborg into his heart, just like Manborg opened his heart.
Am I nuts in that the same like directors and writers of this full-length feature film also did the exact same movie in 6 minutes, like a year or two before this one came out?
Like a Turbo Kid short?
Yeah, like T is for Turbo.
Yeah, I think, I have not seen this, but I do, I've read something that I think there is like a short version of this. I've not
They
seen
submitted
this.
it for some kind of film festival.
I wonder if that's on the...
And then
I wonder if
then
this,
it's like
I wonder if it's on the disc.
they make it to a full-length film.
I was just about to ask if there was any specialists from the Disney.
We streamed it on the digital version, so I should pop that in and totally look at that. That's
Yeah, you definitely should.
Yes, as a fan of this film, I definitely should.
Paul, you being a super fan of the film, how did you discover this film? Because I think you introduced it to me.
So I read about this film somewhere. I don't know where, and maybe it was the connection of Manborg. I love Astron 6. I just really don't know, but I remember I pre-ordered this film and we watched it digitally, or I watched it, I think, immediately upon some kind of release, and then you guys watched it with me. The directors also did Summer of '84. La-Mar, you watched that with me, and I also pre-ordered that film, which I would totally do Summer of '84, a very, very different film. Let's do it in the summer. It's different.
So it's a summer movie.
Do you remember this at all, Lamar?
I don't.
Oh, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I'll talk a little more off air. But yeah, it is a summer movie, and it's kind of horror, Stranger Things-esque. Like, you get that little vibe going on. But yeah, I don't know. I love this. I will say from the get-go, the soundtrack is my favorite part of this film.
Yeah, the soundtrack is great.
It does wonders.
Yeah, I'm sad I didn't write this soundtrack. I like writing electronic music. It's all this like really easygoing down tempo or ambient music. I think it totally fits. It's pretty throughout the film too. Like, there's not a lot of breaks. So I really want to hand it to the artist who did the soundtrack. That I just thought, I mean, the soundtrack is the score, is everything, all encompassing. It's just a lot of fun. And so, yeah, we're in this fake future of 1997, and after all these wars and some kind of fallout, as always, and, you know, the shortage of food and supplies, and the human population is dwindling. Here we're at 1997, and we find a turbo-y little kid. We just find
Turboing around.
We just find the kid.
Does he have a name at all?
I just love how
Just the kid. He never has a name.
Yeah, he's just the kid, and everybody's riding around on BMX bikes, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I told this to Mike. Okay, so here's a crazy backdrop. I feel that's going to be the biggest thing that might get people out of this film. Like, oh my God, like everyone's like riding around BMX bikes. But the crazy thing is, like, that seems like a very ideal mode of transportation. Like, you have big, thick tires. They're fatter. They're not going to, you know, break when you go off-road. It's probably super easy to maintain. It's kind of smart. I mean, it's lightweight.
I like that there's no, like, gas and cars aren't a consideration. Right. So there's nothing to fight over. And just there's no jokes about it. Just, like, everyone's just riding around on bikes. Not all of them have BMX bikes. Some of them have, like, regular ones or with a sidecar or, you know, whatever you got.
If anyone checks out,
everybody's just super healthy in this future.
You got to be healthy. Yeah, if anyone checks out the video game, I was wondering if there was a like a bike component. Like, is it just a side-scrolling game, or
there better be?
It's just reskinned Paperboy.
That'd be fun. Sort of bombs, Molotov cocktails, house to house. Your Skeletron, just throwing Molotov cocktails. Yeah, that'd be cool. Outer Minds is the game. I just wanted to note again on the side that the game was kickstarted. And the goal was for $50,000, and they reached $174,000. So it is super kickstarted. So I was curious, and if they ever do reach back out to us, even with the blurb that I requested, I will totally let people know. I'll totally play the Turbo Kid video game.
Oh yeah, that's very interesting.
Do you ride a bike? I want to know.
Yeah, I'm going to put some research into that, too.
It's on Steam. If you go to Steam, it just says coming soon.
All right.
I mean, that seems kind of official. I know that sounds weird, but Mike, if Steam approved it, like, I would feel that, like, you went through some channels to be like, I just got $174,000 kickstarted, and I'm going to put this game on your network, and they're probably like, all right, coming soon.
Yeah.
That seems like not a lot of money to make a game.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically that 174. Oh, yeah. I mean, to make the game? Yeah. Games do a lot less, actually, if you're just like an indie company. And just remember, that $174,000, those are basically just like early buyers.
Yeah.
So a lot of these games, sometimes it's like $174,000 was the Kickstarter, but then they reached like $500,000 for like when they did physical sales and various other things.
Fair. Well, and I guess for game development, there's no material cost. You're just paying for someone's time.
I think that's kind of the view that, like, you basically were like, I bought your time to like work and complete on this, and then the goal is everyone's like, your hours, etc., have been paid for. Now everyone hopes the game does well, and all those people make way more money, which would be great.
That would be great.
Yes, it would.
It could also be grape.
Yeah.
Great grape. Is that what you wanted?
If you want some grape. This episode of Rabbit Troop Sucks has been brought to you by Grape.
Yeah.
Grape.
Just one.
Yeah, and grape.
What kind of grape are you into, Jeremy? Is there a grape that you're into?
Seedless.
The kind that get me drunk.
So wine is your favorite kind of grape.
There's a cotton grape that tastes like cotton candy.
Wine
They're
grape.
Dope.
Really?
Yeah.
There are grapes that taste like cotton candy.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, I'm not joking. It tastes exactly like cotton candy.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys
Where do you get these?
I don't know where
grapes?
Those aren't genetically modified at all.
I'm sure they're not. Yeah.
the grocery store?
Yeah.
In Turbo Kid, I would fry up a rat and then serve it to someone and then trade it for guns and supplies, and then I would get grape.
That's
That's
what you
Turbo
get for your
Kids
rat burger.
That's where I get grape.
This entire movie is about a kid on the journey to find the cotton candy grape.
Yeah, and Les Matos is the score duo. And I looked this up in French, like what does this actually mean? And so I think Mike's gonna like this. Like I think a literal translation is like gear stuff. So I was like, okay, but then like people are also like, it means you're junk. I was like,
Oh.
I was like so many questions. But yeah, the score of this movie is really fun for me. So yeah, shout out to
definitely.
that. And, yeah.
Like you said, it fits the movie perfectly. I couldn't imagine it anywhere else. It's so lighthearted, despite the fact that there's blood shatter in the movie. We'll get into all that. I do like the soundtrack a lot, like you do.
Yeah, the soundtrack is good.
Yeah, there's only one song that actually has lyrics, and it basically opens up the movie. The music is "Thunder in Your Heart"
Oh yes.
by Stan Bush.
Is that a real song, or was it made for this movie?
Mr. Bush.
Don't know.
It's a real song. I've heard it in other movies.
Really?
It's great.
Let me see if I can.
Is there
remember.
thunder in your heart?
Yeah.
It's Thunder Down Under.
Wow.
Yeah, it feels like just like it fits an '80s movie intro, like ski school or something.
Yeah, I mean, you could imagine this thunder in your heart, and some kids on a BMX bike scavenging for food.
It sounds like a Dragon Sound song.
It should be.
Yeah, this is a movie made in 2015, trying to be an 80s movie set in a post-apocalyptic 1997.
Yeah,
And it does it well.
It has an identity crisis. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the first things we get to note is, we get to see this kid. He's picking the land for whatever, and he rides up like a role-playing game into this like low-end city village, and people are selling stuff. There's some music. You could buy food. There's sex workers. There's whatever you want.
Yeah.
There's basically just, if you have stuff, they have stuff.
We've got stuff.
Mostly what they have is water and presumably prostitutes.
Yeah.
But you're trading stuff for water.
Yeah. And we get to meet Frederick.
Yeah, he's doing arm wrestling against a guy who was this guy consequential at all? Like he comes back up later.
Yeah, so he's arm wrestling fake Molarem.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
he
you for
does
the
look
call.
like that.
Yeah, I really love this scene. So a couple things is happening. Simultaneously, Turbo Kid is dealing with
Ragu, whatever the fuck.
Bagu or Bagu.
Bagu. Okay.
So the guy's name is Bagu. He's basically like the village salesman, and he does like Kid. He's making him deals, but he's basically like, the same stuff you're bringing, the same price I'm giving you. I'll give you some water. I'll put it on credit. But you could tell this guy kind of likes him. He's, Kid is a younger dude, and he keeps to himself. He's not a jerk, so that's probably rare.
And he throws in an extra comic book.
Yeah, so there's the Turbo Riders, which is... I'm assuming there was a comic book that was basically like a pamphlet where it was like, come join the Turbo Riders. Like, this was kind of almost like this initiation for younger people.
It was like a recruitment tool, because I think we learned that the Turbo Riders were like an actual military branch during whatever this last conflict was.
They were the rollerballers.
They were, yeah.
It made you want to watch Rollerball, didn't it?
It did. Like their whole outfits, I was like, fucking rollerball, man.
Yeah, so he throws in this comic book and he's like really happy. And then, we see Frederick, who is like some wasteland cowboy.
Mm-hmm. Arm wrestling. I don't know if they were betting, but like there's little Bunsen burners with brands, like you would do for a cattle.
Yeah.
So like the loser gets the back of their hand branded.
I think it's like, yeah, like you're playing for, I would assume money, and then the branding is like the honor. It's like someone would see it and be like, he's lost this many matches or whatever. But Cowboy Frederick has 0. He is gone. He is undefeated in all of this. So everyone kind of stops and watches this. And Molaram, who is literally dressed like Molaram and smiles like Molaram, loses. And Frederick's like, you lost. And Molaram flips out a knife and tries to stab him. And Frederick throat pushes him and basically tells him to behave. And the guy's like, okay. He's like, well, I guess you're buying drinks. And the guy's like, yeah. And they hug. And
now they're best buds again.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. That's the future you're in, Turbo Kid.
It's just the rules of the wasteland.
You can be killed in one scene, or it's just best friends in the next scene.
Exactly.
It's all good.
It's contextual.
Well, ain't that a future? How do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a lot of friends in the post-apocalyptic 1997, so you got to keep them while you got them.
There's not a lot of friends, and that's what makes the story so important.
Shopkeep even offers Kid a drink. He's like, why don't you have a drink? He's like, yeah, no, thank you. He's like, suit yourself.
He just wants to go read his comic book on a swing set.
Kid loves his comic books. I mean, to pass up some water for a comic book. I mean,
but this is where he meets Steve Jobs. I mean, Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's also go back to this. So Bagu fronts him like two bottles of water, which is nice. He's like, I'll put it on credit, and I guess they just have this, going.
Yeah.
And Kid does note, he looks at the water and it's a little more murky. I guess it's more murkier than it should be over time. And he's like, it looks more cloudy or whatever. But that's only 2 bottles of water. Like, is Kid going to town like every other day?
I would assume so.
I also would assume so based on this. I
mean, what else is he going to do?
Yeah,
I don't know. Not going to town?
Yeah. There's not really a lot of other stuff around.
Seems just...
He's going to jerk off in his bunker.
Yeah. Well, he probably does a lot of that.
Yeah, well, you need a 3rd bottle of water.
Yeah.
Clean things up.
Get so dry down there.
Yeah, it does.
Is there a way?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is where we meet Apple. On a swing set, swinging.
She just sneaks right up on him.
This is Jeremy rewatching this movie. Is Apple still your love?
Yeah, she is. I don't know why, but she is alluring in this film.
I looked her up.
I looked up
she's in like a series. She's like in a medical series.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody really knows anybody in this movie except for Michael Ironside.
Yeah, what happened there?
Also, we have 3 directors in this film. We have 3 directors like working together on multiple films. So, yeah.
I counted 3 directors and 4 writers.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It takes a village to make something.
It really does.
Well, awesome. Great. Like, keep doing that.
Yeah.
It's working.
Worked out pretty good. Yeah. I don't know if they collaborated together on this with separate ideas and came together, or if they're just one hive mind, or if they did other projects together like this. I didn't do any back research on any of these directors.
Summer of '84, the directors worked together.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't check in all the writers too, but I assume like this is like a group.
Yeah.
I would also assume at the end of this movie, someone just went, Turbo! That's all I got.
No, you're right. Someone did do that.
I hope they did.
All 3 directors are in the movie as well.
Turbo!
Really?
Turbo.
Are they really?
Yeah. 2 of them were Turbo Kid's parents.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
And the other one was Bald Henchman.
Well,
Okay.
So-
as one would.
Yeah.
It really does take a village.
Keep an eye out for him. Yeah.
I might know who you're talking about. I think that might be the guy who messed up the flame in the Bunsen burner.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
So there we go.
Nobody knows, though.
That guy got fucked.
Turbo.
Turbo. But yeah, so Apple pops up. Kid's just swinging around reading his comic book.
Like a papple.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, hey. She's very, very enthusiastic.
I mean, Jeremy would be in, apparently. Jeremy would be like, best day of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy, you're reading a comic book. Apple pops up next to you. You're cool with this, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Apple looks like Apple. I'm cool with that.
Well, Apple's in a full-on blue jumpsuit.
Yeah.
She has pink hair. She has kind of like unicorn eye glitter. And she has the craziest electric blue eyes on the face of the earth. Now, there are moments where they do stuff to highlight, like, we'll highlight later, like, that her eyes are changing and why. But her natural eye color seems insanely blue. Am I wrong?
No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and they're contacts. That's not her like natural eye color.
Well, I don't know about that, actually. I think there's two things happening. I think there's contacts that are showing a, like, extra blue. But then I think there's a real color that's super blue. Does that kind of make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We'll papple.
But she decides that they're going to be best friends.
When was the last time any of you got one of those apple fritters at McDonald's? Let's talk real business.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I've ever had an apple fritter from McDonald's.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you people?
I had once back in the 80s, and that was it.
Why? Why did you not go back?
There's other stuff.
Just talking about like the apple pie.
Yeah.
Oh, the apple pie. Oh, they did add like regular just apple fritters.
Oh no, that's what I mean, like the old school apple pie.
When they stopped
yeah, the
frying
apple
them,
pie
I
all
was
the
out.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
been
thank God, Lamar. So yes,
No,
you're.
as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, that was probably years and years,
Oh, so
30,
good.
40 years ago.
And Jeremy,
Yeah.
you're saying never.
I don't think I've ever had like any
What are you doing? What are you,
desserts from McDonald's.
What are you doing later tonight? You going to McDonald's?
Don't
No, I'm not. I'm not setting foot outside tonight
Come on.
for fear of death.
Tell your wife that you're going out to get some apple pie.
from McDonald's.
Just clean out McDonald's. Like I'll take 36 of your apple pies.
I need you to construct a blanket of apple pies for me because I need to wear it on the way home. I will slowly wear and eat this to maintain my health.
Will this apple pie suit insulate me from death?
Sir, just come on in.
It's worth a shot.
If for the right amount of money, I think they'll do it for you too.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
Sir, you live at McDonald's now. You're one of us.
You're the mayor of McDonald's.
There is a mayor of McDonald's.
Well, Mayor McCheese is the mayor of McDonald's.
Right. Well, so Jeremy's coming in and usurping this position. From
You
the
show up
get-go.
in the pie jacket.
Well, that's true.
They're gonna do like a recall election. They'll send the Hamburglar to take them out.
Well, I also assume like you come in with a pie suit. That's like one step away from wearing like a blood mask. Like they're like, oh shit, this guy's crazy.
Right.
Like,
It's like it's ready for Thunderdome. when
yeah,
you
like
show up.
this
Yeah.
guy exploded through a man to get here, and
Right.
now he's wearing the innards.
He's holding the head of Grimace in his hand.
He,
No, not Grimace.
Yeah, Grimace.
Grimace is his crotch piece.
What do you call that thing?
Or
cod
piece. Cod piece, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
This is taking a turn.
just like Turbo Kid.
Yeah.
There are cod pieces in this film, though.
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the future. You got to protect your junk. Apple will demonstrate why later.
That's very true.
Well, Apple does something kind of smart, and it's not really noted really quickly in the film. The moment she walks up to Kid, she basically puts a slap bracelet on him. Like, slap, hi, what's going on? And they don't mention it at all, which is a little disarming because it does take a little bit of figuring out to, like, what's going on for a second in a moment. But she is super happy that he's reading these Turbo Rider comics, and she's like, like, I'm going to talk to this guy over here. Hey, I found a new friend. You don't need to look after me. And Kid looks over, and it's a skeleton.
Yeah, she's just talking to a corpse.
Yeah, so he does.
You gotta wonder how long she's been there, then, you know?
Or walking
That guy's
around.
been there for a while.
Oh, that guy has, but like, she's been walking around, I assume, for a long
think?
time.
Was she just dragging the dead corpse of that person with her?
That's honestly what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm thinking that too.
Yeah, like why not?
Wow.
I assumed that guy died there and she was just hanging out until someone else walked by.
That's
Well-
another possibility.
Yeah,
No, I mean, take it like
anything
this.
could
Like,
happen.
I would assume he knows that playground. He seems like he only stays really close to where he lives, this village. He plays it safe.
Well, he
So-
might have died recently.
So okay, then like a day.
Yeah.
It seems like the kid like really knows the playground.
That's-
That's his jam. This is my swing set where I go read Turbo Rider. Jeremy, where do you go to read Turbo Rider?
The loo.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's the only place for Turbo Rider.
The man's playground.
Jeremy, can you imagine going back to let's go back to one of Jeremy's favorite things that Turbo Kid will never actually see unless we get a sequel. The mall. Jeremy, I mean, can you imagine just buying a comic book and just sitting down at the mall, anywhere in a mall, and just reading it on a bench? Buy a plant, buy a fake plant, buy a real
kind of
plant.
enjoy sitting down in the mall and just like chilling, scrolling through my phone, people watching while like my wife or something is doing shopping somewhere. Yeah.
You could do
Nothing wrong with
that.
Yeah.
Bring it back,
Cup of
Jeremy.
Joe.
Yeah.
Come to the Cherry Creek Mall. We could hang out outside of Renzio's. Get a
I like to
Greek
hang out at
salad.
Cherry Creek Mall, like the creepy guy at Cherry Creek Mall in July, you know?
Yeah.
That's fine. We have some kind of like smoothie station.
Yeah.
Just get like Starbucks stuff. Some chilled Starbucks stuff. Keep going around the mall.
In Cherry Creek, we have Ink coffee. Too bougie for Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh wow, there's an ink in the cherry.
It's good
Oh,
coffee.
yeah. Wow.
Well, how about this? Let's debouge. Put a little Quinn's in it. Let me tell you a little story about a drink called Quinn's, Jeremy.
Twins.
When you
Quinn's?
need a little holiday
Like
pick me
gas
up.
station meth.
How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, Jeremy, come on. It is gas station Bailey's.
That is more accurate, and I am willing to accept that.
It's
It was a
more
gift.
better than that. Come on.
It was a gift amongst friends.
And when they ask you, do you want room for cream? Just wink at them and say, room for Quinn's. And pull out the bottle.
Yeah.
And then they'll ask you to leave.
Or give it
And
to
then
you.
and then you'll realize you've never been talking to anyone, and the whole time your shirt's been off, and you just went into a police station.
You're in an alley and someone's peeing on you.
It's yourself and the guy above you out of spite now,
Damn, that's
just like
Quinn's.
Turbo Kid. Quinn's, little holiday spirit.
Damn.
Quinn's the official sponsor of Turbo Kid.
When you
That's
want
fine. I'll take it.
when you want to be visited by all four ghosts at once, Quinn's.
Quinn's brings a fifth ghost, I think.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
just like Quinn's, Turbo Kid gets home and his bracelet starts going off, and he's like, "Wait, what's going on?" And then he realizes that slap bracelet is not coming off.
Yeah.
He electrocutes himself while trying to dismantle this, and he wakes up the next day. The next morning, we see a cut scene. We're not back to Kid yet, but Frederick and the gang all rally together with their bikes. And one of the soldier rounds up and highlights, like, we need supplies, and we're fighting this guy Zeus, who's Michael Ironside. And, is it even worth it? Like, we got to do some stuff about this. And he's like, right now, my only job is to take a piss. I love Frederick. And the soldier's like, huh? And agrees. So Frederick goes to pee, like, on the side of the road. And the guy does this probably
3 inches away from him.
Frederick then shoves him away, and it's kind of like a joke. Like, and you're probably thinking, like, what kind of movie is this? Like, it's kind of weird. But then the bad group rolls up and kills everyone while they're peeing, and they kidnap Frederick. Then we get back to a little kid action.
Yeah, well, and first we're treated to the first of like 4 flashbacks that kind of build on each other.
Yeah.
Where we're, we kind of learn the history of Turbo Kid. But we just see Turbo Kid as a child, like, looking at his mom fixing a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's such a happy kid.
He was.
Turbo!
Turbo! But now, yeah.
Well, they had fresh water at the time, so of course he was happy.
more than they have now, that's for sure.
Jeremy, when's the last time you had fresh water?
1 second ago.
Yeah. Turbo.
Turbo.
So in the morning, Turbo Kid wakes up and Apple is in his fucking bunker with him.
Again, this is Jeremy's dream.
It is.
Yeah, this would
be
yeah,
fine.
this guy.
Yeah.
He's got it going on, man.
Yeah.
See, here's where I love Rabbit Troop Sucks. Here's where, like, the path gets divided. I understand what Jeremy is telling me sexually about Apple, but I have grown up playing so many, like, weird Japanese based on manga video games, and have watched anime and have always appreciated, like, weird quirky sci-fi stuff. This is Jeremy wants to have hot sex with a robot, but I would wake up in this kind of situation, much like Turbo Kid, and I'd be kind of like excited. Like he's like totally off put, but like I would be excited like, yay, there's this person and what's going on, and things get quirky. As her character develops, I think we have not revealed more about her, but when her reveal comes, that's why I would get extra excited. I would be pretty stoked, like the kid is.
Well,
so,
you kind of just gave it away a little bit.
well, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Turbo.
Spoilers.
But yeah, he's a little off-put. He's like, you're in my man bubble, or whatever.
You're in my
pretty
motherfucking
much,
comfort
yeah.
zone, man.
She's like, sit down and bubble yum.
Yeah. And then the fades to black.
There you go.
And this is where Turbo Kid gets that apple pie we were talking about earlier.
Hey.
What?
No?
What? What's happening?
Okay. What the fuck's happening now?
Grimace?
Grimace is, the cod piece.
Hamburglar.
Yeah, so he's off put. He's like, hey, how do I get this fucking bracelet off? She's like, oh, no, you don't.
Yeah.
It's on there forever.
Yeah.
Hey, we're best friends forever, BFFs.
Yeah, that's stage one. Why I love Apple. She is super direct, but it is so off-putting in no matter what world you're living in. Like, again, there's a bracelet on me. How do I get off? Oh, you just don't.
But like with a huge smile.
Yeah, like, but it's gonna be okay.
This is
Like,
you now,
like assuring you, like, you're not in any danger, you're not in any harm, but what you want is never gonna happen. And let's move on. What are you up to today?
Yeah, she's either always excited or in a state of wanting to be excited and about to get excited.
Yeah, I think he says something later, and I mean, I don't. It's not like the biggest thing, but he's like showing her a master viewer, and he's like, "You want to see something cool?" And she's like, "I always want to see something cool." And I'm like, "Hell yeah, hell yeah, Apple."
She's down for whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's got a great attitude. I love Apple.
Yeah, just every day is great. And, well, they're going to do what he does every day, which is go scavenging.
Yeah, he's got to have some kind of breakfast. I mean, she made him something. I don't know what it is. Batteries.
Apple pie.
I mean, I put some old milk on top of some batteries. You want to eat this? I love it.
Breakfast of champions.
But yeah, they go out, they're doing their thing. He explains the rules of the wasteland.
The many rules. Of
There's
the
3 rules.
Yeah, well, at first, I think they expound later. But water, stay in the safe zone, always have your wheels ready.
On the music end, I just wrote, for all of you electronic fans, I just wrote ARPs of happiness.
ARPs?
Yeah, like arpeggiated notes of happiness. And that's probably like what the sound bank would be, like ARPs of happiness 02.
I bet that's exactly what they did on
Hell
set.
yeah.
They labeled it exactly like that.
And they did it well, Lamar. And so while this is happening too, we also see Frederick. Frederick has been out to his brother's gone. He's dead. We'll just jump to the chase or cut to the chase on that one. He's dead, but Frederick, is this arm wrestler, and we got Zeus here, and he's like, hey, here's my buddy Skeletron, and he is gonna arm wrestle you. And honestly, if Frederick did things differently, I kind of wanted to see where this was gonna pan out. So I'm gonna lead you to what is about to happen, but I'm gonna ask you guys to speculate.
Okay.
So Zeus is like, hey, I know you handle things where you come from by arm wrestling and like, branding each other kind of alludes to that. He's like, we do things differently. So he unveils he like pulls off a sheet and there's basically two blender blades, but it doesn't really look like sharp blades. It just looks like the bottom of a blender.
Even still, that would be a bummer.
It would sting.
It would scrape. You'd want some.
I think it would fuck up your tendons.
You'd
and,
want to like
your
moisturize
hand,
afterwards anyway.
He's like, shove it away a little bit.
But I mean, he spruces the blenders up with fire.
Yeah, he's like, well, that's Zeus, and he's like, and there's gonna be fire, and fire like comes blasting out of it, but then it like fizzles out, and he is so pissed with his henchmen. He's like, I said fire. You're like making me look like a jackass here. Like he's like thoroughly pissed, and he's like, so he's scolding this guy, and Frederick's like, hey, you mind if I light a cigarette? He's like, no, go for
why
it.
not?
He's like, it's nice to have manners, even in the future, good sport. So Frederick is a good sport. So he lights this cigarette, he takes a couple puffs, then jumps up. The guy who fumbled, who I'm guessing is one of the directors now, who fumbles with getting the fire right, he smashes his face into that blender, and then goes for Zeus. But Skeletron takes his buzzsaw attachment on his hand and just cuts his hand right off. But let me go through this. Okay. It seems like Zeus kidnapped him, but was kind of in a weird way wanting to play ball. When these events do happen, Zeus goes, I saw that coming and I was ready for it. But what if Frederick arm wrestled Skeletron? It seemed like that was about to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Frederick would have won.
Probably.
Okay.
Skeletron's not... he has a mask and a saw for one hand, so presumably he would have used his other hand.
Right.
That seems like a pretty easy win for Freddy.
So do you think like right before Frederick won, you just think he would have cheated and like sawed his hand off?
Probably.
Yeah,
I think they were all going to play dirty. Why does Zeus want Frederick?
Exactly. This was the weird interrogation scene. Was it even an interrogation? It felt like just more of them just talking and dicking around.
I feel like there was old beef because of the whole brother thing from earlier. But it's never really explained why Zeus has it in for Frederick's brother and or Frederick.
My only wild speculation on this, I'm clearly going through all the other movies and tropes of similar things we've seen, would be like the public really likes Frederick. He's undefeated.
Yeah.
He comes into town. People literally stop what they're doing. They're like, Frederick's arm wrestling. Like, I'm going to watch this. So
he's the only person who dresses like a normal human.
Yeah. So I think in this civilization, because they say there's hundreds of people, that he probably just doesn't want a guy who's like famous like this, because like the people like him. Because later on, he's like, who serves you? And everyone's like, Zeus.
So this literally is rollerball. They're like, you've got to retire, Jonathan. You're too strong.
Turbo.
Frederick.
Listen, Turbo.
You're becoming bigger than the people, Frederick.
I said stop, Turbo.
I think
It's
Paul's
too fast.
correct in that.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fair.
Frederick is that guy that can't be controlled. He's doing his own thing. He does what he wants to do, and that's just not going to work in the quarry.
I also presume, Zeus has probably employed a bunch of like pieces of shit. So he's probably like, hey, part of your hand's missing, or who the hell roughed you up? And there's probably like word of like, this guy Frederick, he's like the baddest dude in town. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't like that guy because he doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
What kind of car does this guy drive?
So
Does he have a sidecar on his bike?
He does have a sidecar
with a flag?
Yeah.
So he's a potential hero that can undermine his plot.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
He's Australian too, so
he is.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Crikey.
Like that son of a
Listen,
bitch.
Tabo.
He gets some of the heart of a koala in a second.
Yeah.
Scratch a face off.
It's jacking time, Tabo.
I've been bathing in eucalyptus leaves the whole time.
Come on, Tuggy.
Hey, Tuggy.
It's time to get it going.
Damn it.
Okay, so we're back to Tabo and Apple.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Scavenging.
They're
They're making the gnome stick.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? You need a helmet and a weapon.
This is my gnome stick.
And he fashions her a gnome stick.
She's so excited about this.
Very excited. And immediately they find a helmet that matches her jumpsuit.
Yes.
On a dead person.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
When we say gnome stick, he took a broken baseball bat and duct taped a yard gnome to the end of it. Mm-hmm. And apparently they have fucking phenomenal duct tape in post-apocalyptic 1997.
It solves all things to all men. You're fashioning weapons, you're repairing unknown, as yet to be seen items. Yeah.
And this is where I noted that there's the scene where he's like, want to see something cool? And she's like, I always want to see something cool after this. After they play a game of tag, of course.
Yeah, they play a little tag.
That she looks at his master viewer and they go in for almost a kiss. And all of a sudden she's nabbed in a sack. Mm-hmm. Like just a net goes around her and she is pulled bakerwards and she just goes, run. She says it, run. And he does. And he doesn't do this in cowardice by any means. Like, he books it because, one, what are you supposed to do? I mean, who knows how many people are behind you? I mean, this was a smart move. So he just gets on his bike and goes straight. He realizes one person is behind him. There's clearly someone else because they have Apple.
Right.
You can't see, and he just goes, he goes dashing off.
It's like they're all wearing like the thunder lightning
Raiden
hats
masks
from like Big Trouble in Little China.
I call them bike Raidens. Because
and it's just a matter of time before we do Big Trouble in Little China.
Obviously.
I mean, like, duh.
But yeah, so this guy with like a lampshade on his head is chasing Turbo Kid on his own BMX bike, and Turbo Kid he kind of gets launched off of his bike and he falls into the hatch of like a spaceship.
Yeah, this is so video game awesomeness.
It is, yeah. And you know,
you hear this awesome recording. It's like,
like
you're the fate of humanity, Turbo Rider.
only you can save us from the robot uprising. It's all in your hands now, Turbo Rider.
You've trained all of your life for this. You're humanity's last peach.
This is also the only time in this movie where we get any inkling of what happened to this world. Apparently, robots. There was an uprising and things got fucky.
it's always about the robot uprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
post-apocalyptic.
it happens.
Yeah, those fucking we
Gonna
gotta
happen to us.
We gotta stop with the goddamn.
Whoa. This is all part of the problem, everybody. You're spreading hate. Yes, there were robots that were problems, but there's another side to this movie. And the problem of, this robot hatred, I'm just sick of it. Mm-hmm. You guys are against robots.
Oh boy.
There we go.
Well, I mean, technically, a robot's causing all the problems right now too. So, but we'll get at that later.
Here we go.
Okay.
And here's DeMarty over here with the robot sympathizing.
Yeah. This movie is the conclusion of that Flight of the Conchords song about robots.
011 0111 011.
It is the year 2000.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden we find out that these Turbo Kid comics, that's what I was kind of noting. There's this underlying story, whereas were these kind of like weird recruitment comics given to the youth, basically you could become G.I. Joe, kids, G.I. Joe's real, that's kind of very Starship Troopers. You kind of grew up like this. You knew you could be one of these people, one of the elite, because that's the cockpit we see. All of the comics basically have come to life where the Turbo Rider outfit, there's a skeleton in one. He was the pilot. It also has this turbo blaster that attaches to your arm.
Like a power glove, basically.
Yeah, so awesome.
Yeah.
A styrofoam
bad.
outfit. So he puts all of it on and he goes outside and just starts blasting things away, as you do.
Yeah, and when you get hit by this blast from the glove thing,
It is not good.
you explode. Your body explodes.
You could say, you don't get up.
Yeah, we haven't really mentioned the gore in this.
The gore is
by the way,
amazing.
so there is the gore in this movie is so over the top that it's beyond real, but it works for this movie. I don't know, it is almost to a comic effect. This is a comedy that they're making here.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
gore really adds to the effect of the comedy. But then there's other movies out there what's that movie Dead Alive, where the gore almost just goes over the top and you're like, this is just kind of too much for me.
Turbo?
But it does not do that in this movie, and I love it
It
for
lands
that.
really well.
it
When
does.
when Frederick gets his hand cut off a couple minutes ago, the blood that goes into his face, it's like someone is standing off screen with a super soaker, just spraying him in the face with blood, and it's great.
Yeah.
It works really well. But yeah, he's got his suit on. He's just gibbing guys left and right. And he decides to go rescue Apple from wherever the fuck she is.
Yeah, and one of the gang members shows back up, maybe presumably the same gang member, and they get into a standoff, and you see simultaneously the gang member has something weird. He has a launchable fist with a chain, and it releases for 2 to 3 inches. Turbo Kid just blasts the shit out of him, and this dude explodes. And right here, you see when Frederick's hand is cut off, you see some of that gore, but you really see a lot of stuff going on here.
They amp up the gore, like throughout the movie.
Yeah. Like now that I was just about to say, Jeremy, well, now that he's got the turbo suit, like game on, because things be exploding.
In fact, that whole wackiness kind of ramps up here too with everything else, not just the gore, but a lot of the battle scenes and some of the dialogue too. It gets really weird, but it's not like a complete turn. And the movie still stays on course still.
Like throughout the movie, and I mean we're not talking about big budget special effects. No. Like it's all like very corny, like.
But it totally works. It totally works.
It does. Yeah. It all works.
And as Mike said, like when you get blasted with it, Mike's new tagline: "You don't get up."
I've been saying that a lot lately.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
So
you don't get up.
You're correct, Mike. You don't get up.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that. Well, so back in the Zeus battle pit.
You mean a pool?
The pool, yeah.
The drained out pool.
Yeah. Why there's a drained out pool in the middle of a quarry?
Where do you go skateboarding?
It's there, I guess.
Skate or die, friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you get hot working those quarries, man. You gotta take a cool dip.
You gotta cool off. That's true. Yeah, even in the future.
Unless you're pose repeat.
Yeah, that dick.
Yeah.
Well, Apple's in there with Frederick and some other rando chode. And Zeus
Chapel.
Yeah. Zeus is giving some monologue about we find out where the water's coming from. He has a special machine.
Who keeps you safe?
Zeus.
Yeah.
Who keeps you thirsty? No. Hydrated?
Yeah.
I remember what he said. Yeah. Who gives you water?
I think it was who explodes into your mouth.
Who explodes into your mouth, yeah.
Zeus has what plants crave.
Oh, you the healthy type?
Oh, no.
But he has a machine that turns bodies into water.
There goes some egg.
There you go.
Soylent Green is people.
Yeah, well, and so is the Dasani, I guess, in the future.
Dasani is just brains and people, bone marrow.
Yeah.
Papani.
Yeah. Oh.
Like in his whole speech, he's even like, your brain contains 5% water, and we all just take it in this blender here and pour it out into a cup of water.
Lamar, the last time you took a drink, could you taste Frederick's brother?
Taste his lineage.
Taste my lineage.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Anyway, so Turbo Kid pops up. He's like, "Hey, Turbo, let him go."
Turbo. I actually was like,
No, guys.
Yeah. Even everyone's looking around. Yeah. Here's something I want to note though. Skeletron is lurking around. Mm-hmm. The actor is really just like a body actor of Skeletron. So imagine, I mean, we haven't really described what he looks like. He's got this crazy black hair. He's like the anti-Casey Jones. He's got this crazy black hair and this crazy metal skeleton mask, which is like a hockey mask, and he's also wearing hockey gear, but he lurks around like a psycho. Like he does all these like waving of arms, and he kind of like moves his shoulders. Like if you saw this guy walking around, you would not get in his way.
You would think he was a Raiders fan if you saw him.
Yeah, he did look like he was a Raiders fan.
Raiders!
I did like his suit. I just thought he was crazy looking. His eyes really sell it too.
Yeah.
Just zoom up on his face.
The fact you could see his eyes through the mask.
Yeah, and they're always like shifting around and kind of like they're never like fixated on something. They're like always crazy.
I think this guy's a great like body actor.
Totally.
Just the way he flails his arms and the way he moves his head around too is like, really that's what gets me.
I mean, this is another sell for this movie. I mean, like you have a low budget, but like you are optimizing every person and everything that you're doing. Like, hey, how do we make this guy look scary? Let's give him a crazy mask. Like, does it look cool? Yeah, actually it does. Is this guy going to walk around like a crazy person and sell it? He does. Like, so,
he even looks menacing on a little tiny BMX. Which is hard to pull off.
It is.
Yeah, unless you're Turbo.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't look menacing at all. No. But yeah, he's like, guys, you got to let him go.
I've had some Quins the first time. Now they're giving me a second glass of Quins.
He's all hopped up on the Quins. And he's trying to brandish his glove, but he's out of battery or whatever. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
He just goes like, burp.
He should have been dicking around, shooting around
Yeah, well,
earlier.
he was dicking around a lot. But so, it was Skeletron just kind of pushes him into the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you. So,
Frederick gives them all a pep talk.
yeah, he's like, let's just, I'll take the big guy because he's slow. You
Come on,
two gang
mates.
up on that guy.
Yeah, he's big, but he's slow.
Come on, Tuggy.
Just remember that. Yeah, and then so he directs everyone, and this is one of my favorite moments of the film. I have like a top 5.
Is this where the guy trips?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that is one of my favorite moments.
I'll go, Mike. You go with this one. Mine is, he's like, you go here, you go there. What do you got there? And Apple's like, I got this gnome stick. He's like, well, you just swing the shit out of that, and then we're going to, and she just runs off. Like she just as soon as he says that,
Yeah,
she
she's
just
ready
goes
to go.
rah and runs into the crowd. No one knows what to do, and she just basically beats a dude in the face. He is on the ground. So then that inspires Mike's favorite moment.
Yeah, the random chode who's unnamed is like, yeah, and he runs to like get towards the guy that he's meant to attack, immediately trips over his own foot and falls face into the knife that he is carrying.
Yeah, so he stabs himself into the eye.
Yeah, and he's dead.
Well, no, he's not.
Is he,
He
not?
did not practice
He
proper safety
did not
protocol
die.
carrying a knife.
The guy who has a cement block on a stick.
Oh,
who
that's
we
right.
noted, that is the same guy who kills Frederick's brother. Takes a big cement block and smashes it into his head. And then you see Zeus and he's like,
Yes, good.
oh, chody locks.
Yes, yes.
Zeus is amused by a lot in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except Turbo Kid's antics. He's not amused by that at all.
No.
Yeah, about
Well, they, Turbo, Apple, and Frederick do win the battle down there.
Apple. So yes, well, basically what happens is Zeus is like, this is ridiculous, shoots Apple, and he's like, I'm done with this, and then now let's just finish these people, and Turbo Kid's cannon arm is now recharged, and he blows up Cinderblock guy's head, and then tries to blow up Zeus. But Skeletron shoots a saw blade at him, which he kind of gets him in the gun, or he like dodges back.
Yeah.
And when he shoots some kind of like gas tank, and that explodes. And Frederick's like, "Hey, we should leave." And he immediately goes, "And we should split up."
Yeah. As he's pointing,
Yeah, he does.
As he's pointing his glove at Zeus, he says the best line of the movie.
Yes.
Prepare to taste my turbocharge of justice in the face.
To the face. Yes, Mike. Yes.
My wife and I watch a lot of Law and Order, and you would be surprised how many times someone has a similar line on the stand.
Is that what Ice-T says every time he brings
Is there a lot
someone
of
in?
people that get justice delivered directly to their face in
Prepare to taste
Law and
my
Order?
turbocharge of justice in the face.
Damn.
Damn. Where's my bagel?
Damn.
Load of justice to the face.
Yeah. But yeah, they escape. They immediately split up for whatever reason.
You know the reason.
We do know the reason.
Taste the justice.
And now we have flashback number 2. So this is kind of picking up where the first flashback left off.
Honey. What are you doing?
I mean, that's pretty much it, yeah. But we
Water.
we see that Zeus is there.
I'm Zeus.
Yeah. Turbo.
You're scaring the kids.
Yeah, the kids are frightened. Wait, what's my catchphrase? Nope. Okay. We don't. Okay.
So you're not even gonna get up.
You're not getting up from that.
Damn it! How did we forget this?
We'll have to listen to it. Yeah. We'll fix it in post. I'm surprised.
This is the part where we learn Apple is now a robot.
Yeah, because she's got a bullet hole in
Yes, so I'm sorry if I spoiled this before, but you should totally watch Turbo Kid. Apple's a robot, so although Jeremy wants to have sex with a robot, I want to hang out with this cool robot. She is all about playing tag. She seems like she knows things and can track it down. This seems awesome. Like this.
Hey, I'm not saying I won't play tag with her,
Well,
It's a special adult tag.
damn.
Damn. But yeah, he's like, I thought all robots were evil. She's like, no, I'm a friendship robot.
Yeah, she goes. He's like, aren't robots evil? She goes, it depends on the model.
So we can all agree that she was a sex robot, right?
No, I
No?
Okay. I think she says she's a friendship robot.
Friendship. It's about friendship,
It's a special
Mike.
adult kind of friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah.
The bless.
The bless.
No one makes a robot that hot unless
No.
you're gonna fuck it.
What if you just want?
You're not. If you're gonna build some kid a friendship robot, you're gonna build it. You're gonna make it uglier than the kid, so the kid
Yeah.
feels better about himself.
Yeah.
Here's your goblin
Yeah.
robot,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Exactly. You want someone who's just like less attractive than you.
That's very true.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my god. That's why there was an uprising.
Yeah. Too many
These
sexy
fucking ugly robots
Yeah.
got pissed. They're like, fuck this shit, dude.
Turbo Kid, the uprising. The uprising.
Well, he's getting a little bit of an uprising.
Turbo.
As one does.
Yeah. But yeah, so friendship robot Ragu shows up for some reason.
Everyone loves Ragu, Mike.
What's his name really?
Wagyu.
Wagyu?
Wordy.
Bagu?
Bagu? Okay, Bagu. Yeah, that's
know,
way less dumb than my thing.
Bagu Baggins?
Yeah. Well, Bagu, who's basically a low rent Hank Azaria,
Yes.
he shows up, and he's not super stoked about this robot friend, but because he likes the kid, he wants to help him out.
You call him Grimy.
Grimy, yeah, all grimy. He's like, you know what? If you want to fix her, you need to go to the robot cemetery. It's up the street.
As one would. So people.
Yeah, it's off Highway 64.
This is video game 101. Like you're on a mission. This person's dying.
Yeah.
You have a
'cause
time limit.
The bullet, the gunshot hit her in the power unit or whatever.
Yeah, I like that. She flips
like,
her wrist like
she's
Scott
got,
Pilgrim.
She's got
like,
like Zelda hearts.
Yeah, I'm losing hearts.
Yeah.
Like, what happens when you lose hearts? And she explains, she's like, I'll power down for good. And he goes, so you'll die. And with a huge smile, she goes, yeah. I'll die.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just matter of fact.
Rad.
I like how that transitions into this next scene. So they're like camping out. You know, they haven't made it to the cemetery yet, but it's nighttime. We gotta camp out. We gotta stay warm. What better way to stay warm than burning VHS tapes?
Yes. It's a romantic tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Kind of nostalgic for VHS.
I'm sure there's no
tapes.
toxic fumes coming off of there.
Oh,
man.
no, not at all.
Probably nothing
Burning
worse than what's there.
VHS.
I was a little sad to see that, but whatever.
Yeah,
You
you
gotta
know.
stay warm somehow in the post-apocalyptic future.
Yeah. You got to do what it takes. And, you know, because Apple's a robot, she's good at fighting, as we have found out in the pit.
I love this.
So
Another one of my favorite moments of the film.
This is definitely the best moment of the film. She's like, "Do you want me to teach you how to fight?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." Does someone want to walk through this?
Yeah, so she basically uses a Karate Kid quote. She goes, "Strike first, strike hard." I don't have it all. Strike first, strike hard.
Show no mercy.
Show no mercy,
Show no,
yeah.
that's right, show no mercy. And he's like, "What does that all mean?" And she first karate chops him in the throat.
First, eyes. She does like the Three Stooges.
Eyes, then throat, and then kicks him in the junk. And then he is on the ground. But then she's very calmly, like, still explaining, like, this is why you do this. I caught you off guard. Now you can apply this. Like, he is, like, dying on the floor, gasping for air.
He's double over.
I think her instructions were strike the 3 vital points: eyes, throat, and testicles. And that's an important part later.
Yeah.
But yeah, as he's arriving on the ground, she's really delighted that she taught him some fighting skills.
Got him right in, what was it, Lamatos?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how I missed it. And as a true Karate Kid fan, I can't believe I don't know it right off the top of my head. Yeah, strike first, strike hard. Show no mercy.
Show no mercy.
That's how you do it.
Sweep the lake sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to.
And so that's their kind of fun night.
Yeah.
These are all super fun scenes. Again, you know, welcome to February. Welcome to a little bit of things we love. That's a little bit of our theme throughout the month. At the core, part of this is a romance film. And this is one of the reasons I love it. I love these sensitive scenes where it's no one's saying anything weird. Like, I feel everything to do with Apple and the kid is like a PG, and maybe a couple moments PG-13 film when they're together. The
soundtrack plays in to this. To these like
I love it.
Relationship scenes.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's like this very mellow, like ambient lead. It's just very role-playing game of the 90s-esque. Well done to everyone here. But yeah, I love these romance scenes. It's just really fun, and it makes it a fun sci-fi movie. But yeah, then I feel like when everyone's together as a group, now you're in a rated R movie. Frederick's character is like John McClane 101. F this, F that. It's super fun. But the kid is like a PG-13 film, like pretty much. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's their night. And then we get another cutscene in the morning. Bagu again. Or as Mike would say when he puts it on his pasta, a little ragu. Yeah. He's been captured by Zeus. And Skeletron.
He wakes up tied to a chair and sees that a bit of his intestine is connected via a rope to a bike wheel.
Yeah.
And they want to know where the kid went.
That's never good.
No, it was a bummer. And Ragu gives him up immediately. He's like, they went to the robot cemetery. Just put my guts back inside.
This reminds me...
As one does.
Yeah, I would have told him too, yeah.
So in Robot Chicken, especially the Emperor is like just really cranky. He's like, why are these people doing all this crap? I'm the Emperor. This is Zeus. He's like... Well, you just gave that up. That is awfully disappointing. And
it took a long time to hook all this up.
Yeah, Becky's like, you're gonna put this back in. He's like, no. Like, do you know how long this took to take up? Like, oh my god, like kill him, of course. Like, yeah, okay. Zeus is just surrounded by incompetence. Outside of Skeletron is not. I don't want to say competent. Skeletron is just a psycho, and he is clear. Like when he wants something like murdered and maimed, he will just go and do it. Like, so it's not really about competency. It's just like a psycho being a psycho.
Much like how Apple is down for whatever, I think Skeletron is down for whatever on the opposite end.
I like that.
Like
that's
if
nice.
Zeus is like, we gotta wipe out all of these people, Skeletron will shake his head and be like, yeah, you know what? It's about time.
You're helping me write like a new sci-fi psychiatrist spectrum. Like, are you more of an Apple or a Skeletron? Where do you fall on the scale? Sometimes it could be a little both. Like, how does washing dishes in toxic water make you feel? A little more Skeletron? I get it.
So this is like the questionnaire in Cosmo, like what Sex in the City? Like, you're such a Skeletron right now.
I am being a Skeletron.
You're definitely the Apple of this group.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to pull it together like an apple. You got a unicorn on.
Yeah, or pull it together like Ragu's fucking guts being pulled out of his chest by a bike.
Oh, Ragu's super dead.
Ragu is...
Oh, you ain't getting up.
That's my catchphrase. Yeah. So, you know, with information in hand, Skeletron goes on a journey to the robot cemetery and finds them there immediately.
Oh, yeah. But then Kid blows up two of them really quick.
Yeah, he definitely blows up a couple of them.
And does try to shoot Skeletron, but misses. So
yeah.
He's pretty good.
Well, unfortunately, Skeletron cuts off Apple's head.
Yeah, and Kid catches it as he falls into some toxic mist.
Yeah, off a cliff.
And he's kind of banged up pretty good.
His glove falls off.
He loses his power glove, and amongst the mess, he seems like clearly like he's poisoned. He's out of it. He loses his glove. He attaches Apple's head to a random automaton with duct tape.
So I like they get to the robot cemetery. The robot cemetery is a pile of maybe 6 robots in the middle of the
That's what I was
forest.
gonna say. There's just a pile of like. And the other ones just look like mannequins.
Right.
There's like one that actually has like a body that looks
thankfully,
like human.
There's still like one hot girl body robot that he tapes Apple's head to
and
with this great magical duct tape.
And then we get into a flashback.
Yeah, flashback number 3.
Kid, run.
Zeus is there. Zeus. And he wants water. He's just like, I'm a thirsty traveler. I just want some water.
Time to prune.
And Tabo's parents are like, fuck, okay. The dad begrudging. These are the 2 directors also.
Yeah, I'm a little back and forth with it because my stance is the dad isn't really putting up much. Like, he's not saying mom. Like, mom's pretty tough to get, like, from the get-go. She's like, how about you leave? And he's like, how about not? But the dad's not saying anything. But there is this insane power play where Zeus just goes, I just want a glass of water.
Yeah.
And the dad just doesn't say anything, just nods, and he goes and gets it. And the mom's like, I just want him to leave. And the dad audibly says, I'm handling it, don't worry. Mm-hmm. And immediately Skeletron has this dude's head drowning in water.
Yeah.
And Zeus is laughing. He's like, "Oh no, he's handling it." I was like, "Oh man!" Like,
yeah, that is
like a crazy power
like
play. Yeah, because everyone is disarmed. It's noted that he's like, "You're on my property. You got this water from somewhere. You buy water from me. I don't care where you're getting it from. You buy it from me. Wherever you're gonna get it, it's gonna stop." And mom takes a crossbow, takes out his eye, and dad is dismembered by Skeletron immediately. And mom is shot with a saw blade, and she's dying on the floor.
Yeah.
Kid sees this and rides off because he seems inconsequential to Zeus, and he says, he won't last long out there. Yeah. And the last scene we see of mom is Zeus takes a golf club to her face. Ugh.
Yeah.
I think the kid tried he shot like a toy ray gun at Zeus before.
Oh, yeah.
And then
he ran off. But it was a brutal scene.
Run, kid.
Zeus.
Oh, mommy. There you go.
And as he's wiping the blood off his golf club, he says, she's not getting up from that.
No.
I
think Zeus is just real angry because his arms were ripped off by Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall.
That's
probably, yeah.
You would remember
he's holding
that,
a grudge, yeah.
Kid wakes up.
He's in the back seat, the rear basket,
side seat.
Yeah, of Frederick's bicycle.
I love this bicycle, by the way. This is like those bikes you see in like downtown Los Angeles on like the boardwalk.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the beach,
16th Street Mall.
Yeah.
Come here, 16th Street Mall. You'll get on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mike, would you ride side saddle with Frederick?
I'd
fucking definitely would. I love that guy.
I'd straddle him. I'd hold on to him really tight.
All right.
But yeah, so Frederick just happened to be going to the robot graveyard. That just keeps going. Because he wanted a new hand. Because he got his fucking hand cut off. He got the better deal. Yeah, his robot hand is fucking tight.
It is.
Yeah.
And he says he's going to kick some ass, and kid goes,
yeah,
let's roll.
Well, he also has a gigantic bomb.
Yeah.
Strapped to his bike. He's like, hey, let's you and I go take down Zeus.
Yeah, it's Turbo Mega Bomb.
Yeah, Turbo Mega Bomb. Sorry, your robot girlfriend's dead. Let's go kill Zeus. And Turbo Kid's like, okay, chill.
Yeah.
Let's do that. But they run into
Skeletron. He's like, yeah, I like it. Frederick is just like, can I shake this guy? Yeah. And I don't know how he can't shake that guy.
No, well, I mean, not only Skeletron, but Zeus and the whole crew are there too.
Yeah, Zeus rolls up. He's like, I'm just sick
they're
of these
way
antics.
outnumbered.
Yeah.
Zeus also recognizes, he's like, it's the kid. I actually remember you from before, and this is like crazy, but I'm going to kill you. And then they basically whistle. He's like, we've got some extra people for you. And all these other people roll out from behind the quarry mounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to phrase it like that, but
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Paul, you phrased it correctly.
But Frederick gets tired of Zeus talking. He's like, shut the fuck up and let's fight.
Yeah.
And
we get a little throwback to Apple's opening move.
Yeah, Turbo Kid takes the advice to heart and does an eye, throat, genital, but with a knife. So he cuts
in that order.
Yeah, he cuts the top of a guy's head off, slits his
throat.
And
it spins.
Yeah, it spins. And then he fucking knees him in the dick.
Yeah.
Which,
And at this point,
why not?
And at this point in time, we get into like groups that kind of fashion into one another. And it's 3 versus Frederick and 3 versus Turbo Kid.
Yeah.
Turbo Kid does see one guy bust out a hammer. And it seems like a double hammer. And Kid's like, okay, I've got a hammer too, and pulls it out. And then the guy notes that it's nunchuck hammers.
Yeah.
And he gives Kid a crack across the face that later I'm assuming that's how he loses like a molar that he rips out of his mouth with a huge glob of blood.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. I was wondering why they spent so much time on that scene of him pulling his tooth out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bummer. Yeah, I like this whole
battle scene. Hell yeah, the whole thing was awesome.
People just need to see. Like, one of my favorite moments is that we all laughed that Frederick looks at the kid. He's like, "Hey, kid," and he lights a cigarette, and then with his robot hand rips the jaw off a dude, then shoves it into his forehead, and then they pan to Frederick's face, and he has this huge shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
He's like he's impressed with what he just did with his hand, but he's like, I'm gonna keep doing it. Like, that's exactly how you do that. There is this like lady punk tough that also just beats the shit out of kid. She basically has got him down to the ground. Skeletron.
Well, before that happens, you have to mention the scene where the kid like sidesteps a shovel. It goes into a guy, and then he falls on the shovel. It rips the guy in half, flings one half of the guy onto the head of another man who does not remove the torso throughout the rest of this fight. He's just stumbling around with a half a torso on his head.
Well, and it keeps happening.
The arms are like
by the end of the fight, he has like 4 of them.
Yeah, it's like a Monty Python scene. It's bananas. So this guy has torso after torso on top of him. But yeah, this punk is beating the shit out of Turbo Kid. And Frederick does knock out Skeletron. He takes a couple blows, but he basically turns his own blade against him and then punches him out. And right before this woman is about to kill Turbo Kid, the bomb is about to go off, and then there's an error message. He flinches, but she doesn't. She keeps beating the crap out of him, but we see Apple ride up on a bike and a unicorn.
Yeah, she's woken up and she's affixed a unicorn horn toy to the front of her bike.
Unicorn horn.
There you go. Yeah. Unicorn horn toy.
Yorn. She's got the yarn. Mm-hmm. She's got the yarn.
And she full on yarns this punk chick
right in the power.
Right in the baby maker.
Yeah,
it was just in time. It was just in time too, because you could see like the blood spilling out of his mouth, and he was just about to perish.
She's feeling torn. And she is feeling torn because that horn goes right into her, and she mega dead. But Skeletron gets up again, and he tries to kill Apple, but you know what? There's like a beach umbrella that Turbo gets up and impales Skeletron in with. And Skeletron, gotta hand it to him, his last moments are trying to saw Turbo's face off. And Turbo opens the umbrella and he explodes into blood, and the most beautiful romantic scene happens where it's raining blood upon Apple and Turbo, and they kiss, but they're covered in the umbrella. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and also she has the glove with her.
Yeah.
So she gives Turbo the glove.
You got the glove.
And then she gets shot again by.
I know, it's a real roller coaster with this romance. It's like, I love you. This is great. Here's the glove. We kiss. Shot.
Boom. Shot. And then
Zeus is like, you want to see my ultimate power?
Right. And Frederick is like, oh fuck, and he gets shot.
Well, before the one thing to note is before their shot is he's a robot, and Apple's like, oh wait, you didn't know? I totally knew he's a robot.
He blasts. No, he shoots all of them before the blasting.
Yeah.
He puts the glove on and blasts Zeus, and he just kind of gets fucked up a little bit.
Yeah. Now when Zeus gets back up, he's like, I'm a robot, and Apple's like, you didn't know?
Yeah. He's like, no. Why would I have known?
But Turbo's glove is powered down.
Yes. But Zeus explains his whole deal. He's like, I was a robot, and then my master told me some stuff, and I killed him, because fuck that guy.
I worked in a hamburger shack for 4 days, and my master said, fuffles. And I was like, no thank you, and then I ate him. That was the story of Turbo, and the credits roll. And then
that's the 6-minute tale.
And then it was like, you've got the glove.
Typical age-old story.
Well, Zeus demonstrates what his real power is by using his weird mouth laser.
Yes.
And he's shooting it at Turbo, but it basically just charges up his glove, I guess.
I think the lyrics are, you got the glove. You've got the mouth laser.
Is that what happened?
You got the glove. I don't know. You've got the touch
glow.
finger.
Okay, yeah. Well, he gets a glow up. And, the glove is charged now, and he shoots the bomb.
So he got to glow up, so Zeus is going to blow up?
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened.
He blows up.
Blows right the fuck up.
He's got the touch finger.
But this is a big bomb. Big bada boom.
Big Bertha.
So Apple kind of shields him, and she gets super fucked up.
Yeah.
But also a geyser erupts. Turbo Kid found the water.
You found the water.
In harmony next time.
Nice.
Yeah. And Frederick's like, oh, sick. You found water. You're going to save like hundreds of people.
Yeah. Or maybe more. He says maybe more.
Maybe more. Who knows?
And Apple's dead.
Apple's super dead.
And they bury her.
Mm-hmm. Under the gnome stick.
Under the gnome stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
poor Apple.
Yeah, poor Apple indeed. Well, Frederick's alive. He's like, this is cool. Kid's like, you know what? I'm going to leave.
I'm going to go see the wasteland.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to go.
I'm going to see what's out there. He's like, there's nothing, kid.
Let's split up.
He's like, I know.
We're going to split up again.
Yeah.
And then that's the movie.
That's it.
We all learned a lot about friendship and apples.
It's the kid, basically became a man. He grew up. He found the water source and saved people. He learned a little bit about himself. There's rumors there's going to be a sequel to this. Before we get to all that, as always, reach out to us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know if there is a movie you'd like us to review, to watch, to talk about, if there's a plug-in. Are you the video game company that's making this? Let us know. We would love to talk about it.
Yeah,
so
say hi.
Yeah, or go to rabbittroopsucks.com. You could see some pictures, links to merchandise and episodes, and you could stream this anywhere. Podcasts are available on Google, on iTunes, on any kind of app or function that plays podcasts. We are there, Rabbit Troop Sucks. Or hit us up on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, well, not Google for very much longer.
Yeah, it'll be on the tubes.
Yeah, on the tubes. And whatever platform you're listening on, just hit that like button, subscribe. It helps us out.
I love this movie. I'm just going to jump back into it.
Yeah, well, synopsis. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
I've seen it numerous times. As I said, I absolutely love the soundtrack. Check it out if you have not. I encourage people to watch this. If you are into science fiction and that has a little bit of quirkiness into it, this is the best use of low budget funds I've almost ever seen.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, you've got like a real story. Seriously, you've got a real story that's a ton of fun. It's action, adventure, comedy, romance. It's all of those things. Oh my God, give these people funds to make bigger and more grander things because they could do it. But I love this movie. I grew up playing low-bit video games, much like La-Mar did. These storylines are there. I love the soundtrack, as I said a million times. I'm all in. What do you guys think of Turbo Kid? Turbo!
I might jump in here because I don't have much to add to that because you pretty much stole my thunder with almost everything I was going to say. The score.
You're not getting up from that.
There we go. The score makes this movie. You're going to have a lot of fun watching it. And just in the background, the music's going to carry you. And it's a lighthearted. It's, like I said, it's post-apocalyptic. And there's a lot of gore, but it's a comedy movie. It's not over-the-top comedy. You're just going to have fun watching it because it doesn't take itself seriously, but it has a nice little interesting plot that you can get into and have some fun. Mike, what did you think of this movie?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. This movie's super fun. I want to know how Michael Ironsides got involved.
God, that's a mystery.
But aside from that, I'm glad he was because he was great.
Yeah.
As was everyone else. This movie's fun. You should all watch it.
I think he wanted to be in it because they pitched it to him, and he's like, "Yeah, that sounds like fun. I'd do that."
He's like, Turbo.
Maybe they just sent scripts out to every kind of semi-notable actor, and he's the only person who responded. He's like, "You son of a bitch!"
That'd be a cool story if that's true.
Yeah.
He's like eating a sandwich next door to the quarry.
Yeah.
You working on a movie, Micah? Nah, I'm just doing. What are you guys doing?
That's where I come to think.
That was his pool.
This is my quarry.
Yeah.
Ironside's quarry. Jeremy, what did you think of this film?
So I woke up this morning and my kids were not allowed on electronics this morning. But I'm like, I have to watch this movie and I have to take notes on this movie. And I watched this with my kids and they loved this movie.
Right.
They were like, they're like, we should have done this on movie night. I'm like,
yes.
Well, I don't think mommy would agree with you, but they're like, yeah, they weren't turned off by like the gore because the gore was so comical and so like over the top in nature, and everything worked in this movie. The soundtrack, the actors, and I don't know who any of these actors are outside of Michael Ironside, but they all did a fantastic job. The ones that had like larger speaking roles and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how much this movie was, but they filmed this entire movie probably in like maybe 2 locations. One of those, like 85% of it being like a rock quarry in Canada somewhere.
Right.
And the fact that they could do that and make a movie that had like that much emotional depth, that much character development, and just made you like really like root for like the good guys in the movie. It was fantastic, and I'm glad that you guys turned me on to this, because I had never heard of this movie until, you know, you guys mentioned it to me.
Hell yeah.
Good,
Hell yeah.
good.
I mean, there's I think this year we'll probably delve into some more Canadian films. Mike and I have watched a bunch over the years, and there's a lot of good writing and a lot of good people stretching budgets. So yeah.
That's maple syrup. That worked.
Yeah. That's what you do. You get some nice grade A amber maple syrup, and you just drink it, and you get silly. You get apple silly. You wake up with a grin on your face. You go to sleep with a grin on your face. You kill a man with a grin on your face. Unicorn.
Get that maple in your veins.
No mistake. Well, yeah, we encourage you to watch Turbo Kid for goodness sake. Load it up. It's streaming on a lot of platforms. As I said, I own it on a billion things. I know you can watch it on Peacock. I think it's on like Tubi or something else too.
It's on Amazon right now.
Yeah, watch it. Totally watch Turbo Kid. Next week, we're coming at you, Year of the Dragon. It is us celebrating Lunar New Year again. We'll be back with you with Winners and Sinners from 1983, a movie that none of us have seen. I am excited to watch this movie for many reasons, but again, Winners and Sinners 1983. In the meantime, watch Turbo Kid. Do yourself a favor, seriously. What a fun film. I mean, I really feel Turbo Kid embodies this podcast. Like, someone or people have not seen this and they're like, I want a fun film. You have it. Like, if you're, again, into sci-fi with a little quirkiness to it, this is the movie for you. Again, killer soundtrack.
Yeah, you in building this podcast, I think this is one of the movies that was on the top of the list. So we're just slowly making our way through those top movies that we listed off.
Yeah.
Turbo Kid. Yeah, it's up there.
Turbolicious.
Turbo.
As always, Rabbit Troop Turbo sucks.
Turbo.
Eat your Turbo Flakes, Mike. Goes good with your turbo milk.
You can shut that off now.
Never shutting it off.
Experience the blast of full turbo power in your mouth.
Turbo.
Turbo.